Stage 2 of the race between the two seas, the 61st edition of Tirreno-Adriatico, would take the riders on a 206-kilometre ride from Camaiore down along the Mediterranean coast and then head inland towards San Gimignano. The riders looking relaxed at the start line ahead of a ride that would be a race of two halves, down skirting Livorno and then heading inland from Cecina. Two classified climbs along the way. One sprint, intermediate sprint, awarding points and bonus seconds, and our final ramp to the finish line at San Gimignano, which would prove to be challenging. And in the early stages, it was a group of 4 riders clear of the field, opening up a maximum advantage of just north of 3 minutes. That one pared back by degrees as the race went on. Manuele Terozzi, Joan Bu, Alessandro Iacchi and Diego Sevilla clear of the field for an extended period as the Ineos Grenadiers squad were joined by Visma Leasebike and Alpecin Premier Tech in controlling the early break. Into the intermediate sprint, it was Alessandro Iacchi of Solution Tech Nippo Rally that took the top points and the bonus seconds. And towards the concluding 60 kilometres of the stage, smattering of rainfall, indicating that the conditions could be a little bit less clement as they approach the final moments of the stage. Up and over the first classified climb of the week, and it was the Spanish rider from the Team Polti Visit Malta squad, Diego Sevilla, taking top points. Breakaway group of 4 working well together and staying clear of the field inside the final 40 kilometres of the day when they were called to account under the sustained pressure from the Ineos Grenadiers squad, representing the interests of the overall race leader, Filippo Ganna, after his Stage 1 time trial success. Ganna wearing blue for the 12th day in his career. The rain glistening on the tarmac of the Tuscan roads as they headed inland, proving challenging and difficult, and Marcialucci among those riders finding themselves off their bike. Thankfully he was able to get back up as the riders worked their way into the final 7 kilometres and into the ramp that would take them into the 5-kilometre Starato White Road section. Julian Alaphilippe, former world champion, looking to launch the first salvo. Pre-stage favourite Mathieu van der Poel welded to his back wheel. Giulio Pellizzari for the Red Bull Bora-Hansgrohe squad, showing great early season form. Isaac Del Toro also well in position. Matteo Jorgensen in the yellow colours of Visma Leasebike also well to the fore across the 5-kilometre sector, the first 1,300 metres of which was at 7% average. Van der Poel's injection of pace causing difficulties for many of the riders. Jorgensen able to answer the call. Del Toro quickly latching on. Pellizzari staying in position as well. Jorgensen under pressure, finding his bike washing out, and the American rider would be distanced, dropping into the clutches of a chase group, would race home in the wake of 3 riders up front as individuals and riders trying to assemble as a group. Another challenging moment for Isaac Del Toro. He kept it upright. Little dab from Mathieu van der Poel. Quickly gets his foot back in and races back onto the tail of the Mexican rider. Not so much luck for Tiemann Arendsman, as he is claimed by the same difficult corner. That would drop him out of general classification contention. Challenging conditions through to the conclusion of the day. Back on tarmac for the final 1.5 kilometres. Isaac Del Toro piling on the coal to try and put as much daylight between himself and his general classification rivals. Mathieu van der Poel laser focused on stage honours. Pellizzari also in the frame for a significant victory, and it was Pellizzari that launched first across the cobbled roads into San Gimignano. Quick response from Mathieu van der Poel, unleashing his fabled and famous finishing kick Pelizzari stayed in the fight all the way to the line. And Isaac Del Toro coming with a surprise late run around the outside to try and prevent the Dutchman. But it was Mathieu van der Poel that survived to take a 4th career stage success in Tirreno-Adriatico. Behind Haaland getting up for the Uno X squad ahead of a group 17 seconds in arrears of the stage winner. Filippo Ganna stepping out of blue, coming in just over a minute down on the stage winner. For Mathieu van der Poel, red hot favourite going into the final finishing kick, but great response from Pelizzari. A surprise recovery ride up and around the outside for Isaac Del Toro to take second on the day, and 6 very useful bonus seconds for general classification. So Van der Poel takes a 4th career success at Tirreno-Adriatico, 5 years after his most recent stage victory ahead of Del Toro, Pelizzari, Tobias Haaland up for 4th. Isaac Del Toro now into the blue jersey of overall race leadership by 3 seconds from Giulio Pelizzari. Magnus Sheffield up from 4th to 3rd. Now the great hope of the Ineos Grenadiers squad. But it's a blue jersey for pre-event favourite Isaac Del Toro, as the riders look forward to the stage 3. The longest stage of the race, 221 kilometres. 2,400 metres of climbing for the riders from Cortona, heading south to Milano de Marsi. Along the way, 1 intermediate sprint, 1 climb, and billed as 1 for the sprinters.